How's everybody doing? Stand up and stretch a minute.
Oh, that'd be good.
Don't take this out of my speaking time, please. Get the little blood flowing. I used to, when I was song leader in church, I'd say everybody stand up, shake their neighbor's hand, and, you know, slap them on the back, and even if you're not glad to see them, act like you are. Thank you all for making all the effort to come, especially, I know some of you have come from other states. Thank you so much.
How you doing?
I'm Bob Parker. I'm from the southern part of the state. I've been a rancher down there all my life. Grew up on a ranch. Been involved in it a long time. I also sell real estate, mainly farms and ranches and rural properties. So I have a lot of concerns about the issue. I have a lot of background concerning this issue as far as the real estate side of it, how it affects that, and how it affects property owners and livestock owners. But I want to talk a little bit. Where did this thing come from? And I know some of you know that, but where did it come from? Now, Secretary Vilsack said this is just the beginning. Well, it is kind of the beginning of them starting to listen to small producers. But actually, this thing started, and I've got transcripts of the meeting back in 1994. 1994, Farm Bureau was there, American Farm Bureau, and tag manufacturers and big companies were all there. They put this thing together. You weren't there, were you? This is the first time I've ever really been asked to ever come and speak in person at a listening session. This thing's been going on for 15 years. In, I don't know, in 05, someone told me, have you read the documents concerning the Animal ID program? I said, no, I haven't. I downloaded them. Here they are. This is the draft strategic plan. This is the draft strategic plan, about 30 pages. And along with that is the technical supplement. It's about 30 pages of how all the tagging and coding and how all that's going to work. This talks about all the 29 species and all the recording events and how it'll start out voluntary and turn into mandatory. And folks, when I read this, one evening, I sat in my chair and cried like a baby. This will be the most devastating thing to small farmers I've ever seen in my life, and I know what I'm talking about. This will be devastating. We have voiced our concerns for years now. USDA has not backed off at all. They all say, oh, it's all voluntary, it's all voluntary. We know here, this is not a voluntary program, don't we? But they told us that, haven't they? Secretary, oh, it's all voluntary. Ag organizations, oh, it's all voluntary.
Still, it's mandatory.
I was involved in Farm Bureau a little bit. And when I read this, I worked with Farm Bureau and I said, you know, Farm Bureau, do you realize what's in this thing? Because none of the stuff that you've been putting out has any of the details of this program in it. Oh yeah, it does, they said, and they sent me their news releases and things, but we had a disagreement. I didn't think any of their stuff really said anything, and they did. But one of the things they sent me was a copy of this letter. And this is in 05, and this is their response to this draft plan that I'm telling you is so unbelievable. Describes the program really that's being implemented today. And their comments of the president of Missouri Farm Bureau, and here's the exact letters. It has Missouri Farm Bureau Federation, and this is a similar letter that nearly all state farm bureaus sent and American Farm Bureau sent to USDA. In response, they wanted comments on that draft plan. And Missouri Farm Bureau said right here, we believe a mandatory identification program will ultimately need to be mandatory. I was in shock. I've been involved in Farm Bureau. We never had any grassroots effort in this kind of wording. It also said that everything in the draft plan pretty much looks good, but you might have to implement it even faster if there's a disease outbreak. I was in shock. A grassroots organization with no grassroots input. They got me off my county board because they did not want anybody, and I'll hold this up to the camera, please send this around and tell your neighbor, I no longer am able to go. They got me out of being able to go to the Farm Bureau grassroots meetings and talking about this letter, and they've done everything they can. So why are we here? Because the biggest agriculture organizations from the get-go, from years ago, have pushed this down our throats, and now that it's all said and done and implemented on every level, now it's your chance to come in here and give your 2 cents after it's all done and millions of dollars are spent. And I'll be glad to debate Charlie Cruz and Missouri Farm Bureau anytime, anywhere, like I said, everywhere I've gone. Thank you.